Okay, so as you can see, the seat on the KZ200 is a bit of a situation. The I mean, the vinyl fabric isn't all that bad. It still has lots of elasticity. Obviously, it could use a little bit of scrubbing, but the problem is down here, where there's actually another piece of fabric that I guess attached to it, and that is the part that would get, like attached to the bottom of the seat pan. And so once this seam across here ripped off, obviously the cover went with it. So I could get a new cover, and I've seen some replacement seats on eBay that aren't too bad, but I think that I'm just going to be a cheapo and get some black vinyl and get a piece that's about, I don't know, maybe 3 inches wide to be safe, and then see if I can get that just sewed on to the existing cover, stretch it over, and then reattach it. So essentially use the existing cover. So let's see. I'm just going to try to take all this off, give my hands a good wash, and then get some stretchy fabric to see if I can get sewed on there. Okay, so there's the cover, and this part's the bottom bit still remained from like one side of it, but I just kind of gently pulled it off. So I think that if I basically get a 3-inch by whatever the circumference of this thing is, and then have it sewn on, I should be able to basically tack it all back together again. And I think it'll be relatively seamless because this part should be relatively hidden, but I guess we'll see. But hopefully the whole thing, I don't really want to spend more than $15 on this, and see if there's a local seamstress who's willing to throw this in their machine. So we'll see. So I was passing by the fabric store today, and I figured, well, why don't I try to get a, some vinyl to attach to the bottom of the seat cover and sew it up myself. So I fired up the sewing machine, and I'm going to make an attempt to do this myself, which is usually what I say before things go horribly wrong, but so far things have been going okay. So let's see what happens. Okay, so it's all pinned up, and I've got it on the machine. So let's see if I can do this. Pins off, and just like on the motorcycle, just taking it slow. Try not to do a terrible job. Alright, I better use 2 hands. Okay, so I sewed all around it, and I did face to face so that I'd be able to flip it around and then have like no seam showing. Doesn't look too bad. Not bad at all. So I guess I'll sew these guys together in one end. And then I'm just going to kind of dry fit it onto the cushion and then see how it looks. And I also have some spray adhesive glue to keep it nice and flat. So stay tuned. A little bit better. So here's the work I did. You can get a sense of, there's the top of the cushion there. And here's obviously the new material doesn't match. I don't care. It's going to be toward the bottom, so even if you do see it, hopefully it's going to be pretty minor. And if it's not, I really don't care. It was $3. And here's, I kind of sealed up that last bit. So let's see how this looks on the bike when it's all fitted on there. So here's what it looks like just fitted on there dry. I actually purchased spray adhesive, but I think if I just get it nice and snug in there, it should fit the form pretty nicely. There are no weird curves or anything. And that was like the bulk of my purchase. It was $10, so I'll be happy not to use that, then I can return it. So I'm going to try to put this in there using there are these little sharp tabs underneath. You kind of fold out, push it through the fabric, and then close them up. So I'm going to do that now. So the way that Kawasaki has this set up, it's just looking at the bottom of the seat pan, is you have these sharp metal tabs that you have to go in and bend them up. Bend them up like this so they're sticking out. Then stretch the fabric over them, pierce through the fabric, and then bend them down. I mean, they're pretty rough. I'm pretty sure they were designed by a Satanist. Because if you're not just like killing yourself trying to bend them up, you're stabbing yourself in the thumb. But anyway, getting there. So there it is. I have recovered the seat using the original cover, and then a sort of additional bit of fabric that I sewed onto the bottom, and got all the tabs on there. It didn't take too long, probably about an hour job from start to finish, and the materials and stuff were like $6. So I'm gonna go around the edge and cut it out, and then reinstall it and see what it looks like. I just reinstalled the seat, gave it a little wipe down. There were bits of foam powder everywhere, and it's not perfect. You can still see the seam if you look down there, but that's okay, I don't mind. I'm not going for perfect. I think if you're going for perfect, you probably want to spend more than $500 on a mouse-infested Kawasaki on Craigslist. But it all seems to have gone in there. I did not use glue, but I think it's, you know, pulled it tight enough that you can still see the contours of the foam underneath, and it looks a lot better than it did before. Like I said, from beginning to end, it took about an hour, and I think a big part of that is because the sewing machine was already set up from last time, like the bobbin was in and stuff, so I didn't have to like try to remember how to set it up. And then a big part of it was putting the pins into the fabric, so I could just sort of like do the stitch without having to worry about positioning the two fabrics together. And then finally getting those tabs in there. But I think it looks pretty good. So there you go. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment. See you later.